Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire in my self-imposed challenge. People what people. We're basically playing on a planet where we sort of mineral the population and have it set to low resources. This is probably going to be the last part of the second stream, although the first stream was split half and half with the Banished Vault, so it was only a two-parter for the first stream, where this is going to be a full part of stream here. We're picking up at the bottom of round 65, where over the end turn we killed 4 infantry at the cost of 1 of our own, and we have 5 decisions awaiting us. New director for the Staff Council. So at the end of the last one, we did pick up the Staff Council. We got a Camp 3 person or Camp 2 person. We'll assign the Camp 3 person.
We'll go.
And then I'm going to set it to custom, allow us to get some points to the custom formations. We're going to set that real low initially. Similarly with postures, tend not to use postures. A lot of the postures, they give you a bonus in exchange for malice. Usually, I tend to use my troops a little bit dual purposely, to the point where I'm looking at the bonus and going, oh, the bonus would be nice, but the malice that goes with the bonus is usually a deal breaker for a lot of the postures for me. So it's not that the postures aren't good; it's that a lot of them don't fit my playstyle, which is a fair way I think to look at them. And we'll do something like that.
We'll go.
Minor worker strike in Toronto. We'll give them some money to keep calm. Charismatic Union Chief. So he refuses demand and buy beers. That's likely to fail, in which case he's probably doing a little bit of unrest. I can get rid of the troublemaker, or we can accept his demand. We're going to try to bribe him, and we're probably going to fail.
Order received.
Yeah, refuses demand. Okay, so it's actually worker happiness drops by 20%, which actually is a little bit better than unrest, honestly. And then we're going to extend the oil well here. We beat the roll by 90 points, putting another 80,000 in the well at a cost of 1 ease of mining. That has dropped the ease of mining to 2, so we can only do that 1 more time. So hopefully 80,000 will delay it long enough that that won't be a big issue. Okay, we're going to try to clear these guys, even though we can't bring a lot of troops into the fight. There we go.
All clear, sir.
Get you back out in flat. I think you're the last of the troops that want to upgrade to the foot 2s.
Roger that.
Yeah. So, foot 1 is now non-existent, and for my purposes, is obsolete. We're not going to build them anymore. We're going to be hanging out with the foot 2s the rest of the game. Foot 2 are better for the rest of the game. One of the changes they made in the patch that happened 2 days ago was that the militia troops can use, or militia troops can actually receive reinforcements that are obsolete. So there may be, that may mean that at some point the militia can get the obsolete guys. Granted, I would not be surprised to find a militia. The rifle militia, I think the rifle militia might actually be better than our foot ones. I'm not 100% sure about that one, but I would not be surprised if that is actually the case, because our foot ones were pretty bad.
Order received.
Do slug throwers throw real slugs? I think it's a reference to bullet slugs being referred to as slugs, and not that it actually throws the animal known as a slug. Okay. It's down the road a little bit, but that didn't really help a lot. I'm gonna try to cut this guy, at least one of these guys off, so we can deal with the encirclement. See how well that goes. I suppose now we got the spies. It's an android cave there. That's not super besting. Garbage belt. Mostly utter junk. Okay. Some research value to that. Freefall caves. We do want to acquire that hut, that place right there. Another 100 colonists turn. Trade point, which is 25 commerce. Okay. Well, 25 credits for the private cycle, which is not bad. Yeah, we're awfully close to full employment. Everyone has jobs. Okay. That means every time I'm drafting people, that I'm taking them from their job, which is maybe not a good thing. Let's do a cabinet retreat. All members of the cabinet gain 60 XP, which is pretty good. One thing I may want to do is build up the industry going forward. Yeah, next turn I think I'll start on expanding industry. Because that will, well, industry-wise it pays itself back in 5-6 turns. And then it's basically another 50 industry every turn. Which in our case is a lot. Much. Be able to raise a. That's the line. Let's see if I can read my thing. So one of our tank units here costs just short of 300 IP. So we do want some more IP. Nothing to prospect. None of the mines are empty, which is good to see. Though maybe they'll empty pretty quickly. Cycle the turn. And the next turn we'll start on building up an industry. I think we're getting like 120, 140 IP a turn, so another 80 would be like 60% increase. And I suppose in reference to slug throwers, I think slug throwers is it's like a sci-fi term for what is basically like a musket. It's something that throws a slug. Right, so it's not a particularly fancy firearm, it's just a firearm. Okay, we killed 500 infantry over the end turn, so that was a good end turn. F2 decisions, round 66. We're not going to use expel population. Mission possible, out attack. We might do the mission possible. Civil derogation, okay. Commander worker strike given to some of the demands. Yeah, we'll buy the supplies. Shotgun time. Yeah, to be fair, I could imagine one of the other techs, one of the other early techs, the Gas-powered small arms? I could imagine that being, like, a shotgun. Equipped soldier with gas-powered small arms. These rifle... Granted, it's a rifle there, so maybe not a shotgun. Uses gas to launch the bullet. Although, I suppose that might be like pressurized gas. That might be like paintballs. We got paintball guns there. Version to this slug throwers, but yeah. Okay, so that guy's doomed. Although we're not taking no damage taking him out.
All clear, sir.
Got a batch of free folks surrendered. Okay, so this one I really need more roads. But I don't want to build them because I want to spend the industry on building up the industry to build the roads.
Affirmative.
Chicken the egg. Do you build the roads or do you build the industry that makes the roads better? Think that mission possible. Critically failed, so we don't get anything. That's fair. So, local referendum. That would be a way to get rid of terrible governors. That's actually somewhat useful sometimes when you're taking places over from people. Via diplomacy, is you just referendum them out. Increase relations up to 10. Okay. We'd need them to do that, obviously, which we don't have at the moment. Okay, so industry will be done. Oh, before I forget, the industry will need some machines to be built.
Roger that.
No point in delaying this by a turn because I don't have a machine built. Yeah, so we should have enough industry coming, and then this will build in 3 turns. Give us another 50 a turn. Unbelievably expensive from a metal perspective, but otherwise not too bad. Yeah, hopefully from a firearm standpoint we've improved enough. We're now up to assault rifles, so we're not quite future guns yet. We don't have Gauss rifles, but we've got assault rifles. So a little bit less World War I trench time and a little bit more post-World War II. Yeah, maybe attacking the tank head-on was not a great idea for them. Electric Republican tanks are fairly dangerous. Kill through an infantry. Losses, so that was pretty good. Another private industry, some improvised IP, that'll help us with getting some more roads.
Roger that. Roger that.
So that'll be another 480 IP. And we basically had no decisions, so it's a little bit of a boring turn from a decision standpoint. Can you get up on that hex? Yes. Okay. So the fact that I don't know what that is with 3 infantry next to it tells me this is probably some sort of native fauna, rather than marauders. Marauders generally don't maximize their stealth stats, so... Okay, let's pull back into supply for the moment. We'll wait until we can have a road. Oh, interestingly, might be taking a little bit from it being Savannah, but... We having action point issues up here? Shouldn't be. No, it must just be this. The little bit of trees are in the way. Okay. Plenish formation. We got some buggies missing, so we'll try to get those replaced. And then that should proceed at speed. I was only 98% paid for construction. Didn't have a metal issue. At least not an apparent one. Just enough ammunition, so we're not too worried about that. It's a bit weird. I was still thinking about that airlock. Have you developed any corruption yet? Nope, he's still got 0 corruption. Presumably because we've been keeping his happiness high enough, so that's fine. He's been living the decadent lifestyle, so I'm a little bit paranoid he's going to become corrupt because he's a little too skilled to get rid of. Given the fact that we don't need that yet, let's put the ecological station down.
Affirmative.
I'll provide us with a little bit more science, I think. The bonus from this is education quality of life, which probably does provide us a little bit more research, but indirectly, because I think that's one of the effects of the activation. Drained by assets like schools, universities, and apparently the ecological station. So maybe in hindsight I should have put it here, but oh well, too late. Which reminds me, before we end the turn, we should give you the colonists.
Order received.
Then I think we're going to just cycle the turn. I think that's what we've got for the moment. I think we played our cards at the beginning of the turn, yeah. So this turn I should have a decent amount of industrial power because of the improvised IP we played last turn. So for no losses, no remaining kills, we have 5 decisions on 68. Orbital solar recomposition. So that's one way to guarantee that we have decent water source. And we develop the Harleys. Traditional mass parade. Allocate for the symphony. Or no festivities this year. Government, merit, or neither. We're going neither, even though it's going to piss some people off. This did not sit well with anyone. Yeah, everyone wanted the facilities. I'm like, no. Okay. Drop you like 10. Don't care about the staff counts going too fast. You're at 10, we want like 20 and 20.
Copy that.
Here we go. We're gonna downrate taxation a little bit. Taxation like 9. So you can focus more on human resources and interior policies. I don't have high speed machine gun yet, so I'm a little bit tempted not to do the MGs and hold off a bit. We're really not using any of the trucks yet. Let's do a blueprint on the recon buggies so we can compare what we have to what we can have. So, actually, no, blueprint. Recon buggy. New blueprint. So we want to roll the advanced machine gun. We don't have the high speed, which is the next upgrade. We'd like to have the high speed, but we don't. We got the petrol. I say we give it the full engine. It's gonna at least want the 25 mil. In fact, we can probably run these with more armor, just because the machine gun's lighter than the tanks. So we can run these with the full 50mm armor. It's still have a decent movement modifier bonus there. Okay, so that's a definite thing. Our existing ones, instead of doing the... We're going to do build upon, but I'm not going to click the blueprint, because I know what it's going to be. So we were running machine guns, so we can double their firepower. They were running 50mm steel plating. Okay, that's probably why they're getting queued up by all the infantry. We're going to stack up the 50 mil, so that's going to be 8 times the armor strength, and then armor penetration is actually based on the millimeter of steel plating. So a lot of the infantry are only running around, I think it's 20mm of penetration. So 25mm steel plating, which is this level, which is what our tank's going to have, straight up just reduces their damage by like 20%. This is going to be even more. Then we can do the heavy diesel engine. Okay. And then offer to buy slaves. We will take the slaves. I can't see how many people we bought here, but we bought people. $2,007. Oh no. It's not including the. Well, it's including it in the post glean here. So we gained a little over 1,000 more people from doing that option. Probably see if I go into the decision archive. $16 units a pop, so it's 1,600 people. And we got a decent amount of industry, so we can build some roads. Not quite encircling them, so we'll see if they run away. Okay, where else do I want roads? Probably over here. Like so. And then the industry should finish next turn. At some point I'm going to want to make the move on the slavers, although other than just taking their territory for raw points, the slavers are not going to be the funnest thing to, well, the most rewarding thing to take, I suppose.
Order received.
It's just going to be territory.
Roger that.
No people, but that's to be fair, that's everyone on this planet. That's kind of the problem with this planet. Mining. Do we have any place where it's low that we're mining? For mine accessibility, 3.5 thousand is quite a bit. So no, not really. Could raise this hills tax. We probably don't need to. Okay. Go ahead and cycle the turn. Industry should be done next turn. We'll see if we got that encircled. Okay, they try to attack the encircling pincers. We killed 300, cost 100, so that was not a bad turn for us. Some more improvised IP, that'll give us some more industrial power to build roads with. Definitely gonna go ahead and immediately just say, yeah, give me that. Oh, and it was militia troops that we lost 100 of. Yeah, these guys got driven back, that's fine. And everything that's not militia can then pile in on the attack here. Take a couple casualties, but get rid of the stack.
All clear, sir.
Bit of the shame that we're going to recruit one of the old buggies while the new ones are in design, but that's what we're doing. Okay, if we can take that cave, that would be good. Oh, and the industry did not quite complete. Okay, it'll probably be done next turn.
Order received.
Extend the road like so. Some of these places where I'm exploring with the troop, I'm like, why is it not grabbing the hexes next to them? It's giving me the real concerns. Because I know the alien life forms on the planet here are not complete pushovers. So, mental note to myself, there is an argument to push all the way up to the northern border. Because obviously, the top of the map is a hard place where we don't have to worry about marauders coming in from. Although that is a decent distance north. They might have actually overspent at this point and not have enough to get the industry to finish. Which would be a little bit weird at this point. But let's cycle the turn and get that done. Killed 300 infantry. I did see one of our infantry was cut off out of supply. We have 3 decisions on round 70. Some more private investments, not bad. Investor backing's not bad. Okay, we successfully got those guys to surrender. Found life forms. Not in the way we wanted to, but found them. Okay, another batch of marauders dealt with. Move these over to deal with these guys over here. We got some concern. We got some detected hostiles that we'll deal with. Probably go back to picketing up here as we wait for the road, because obviously I can't be expanding in all directions at the same time because I don't have the industry to do that. Managers want own mess. Give them the best table at the current mess. Because we don't want enforcement or heart, so we'll just give them the mouse to every profile in that choice. We'll help the corporation. We don't really want the government. At this point, the government is actually going to be a malice on the commerce in that case.
Yes, sir.
That'd be the case. When you get conflicting ones here, so commerce decreases government. So in this case, it's going to decrease government slowly down to 18. I believe for every 2 points you decrease it by, it'll decrease the commerce by 1. So actually, yeah, we'll probably end up like 80, 20, or 81, 19 or something. We do want heart, so we'll take that.
Received.
And the factory's done. We do have the metal to keep going. Although it'll be real tight if we keep going, because we just have the metal to do it. But I think that's worth doing, because that's going to quadruple the industry coming from the mine, or coming from the industry. And that, in our many cases, will be something like 3 road hexes, sometimes 4 road hexes.
Affirmative.
That we'll be able to basically build every turn more. Or a tank, independent tank unit, or probably an entire infantry brigade. Which we may go for an infantry brigade soon. The my pickets are getting a bit thin at this point. Oh, we've already got the replacements queued up. Okay. Any interesting cards that I've been not using? Not that I'm seeing as I'm clicking through quickly. Private investment, yes. So private investment there. We're gonna investor back on the smaller city.
Order received.
One thing I can hope for, it might not happen, is that it rolls private light industry like this. So this is nice. I'd like it to roll a few more of those. Oh, I don't know if I'm doing the industry upgrade. I need to make sure I've got some machine parts. I'm actually probably rich enough. I could probably trade for them if they were on the market. Yeah, we'll buy them off the market. That's expensive, but we'll buy them off the market. That saves us some industry.
Order received.
Okay, so for no losses nor made kills, we have 2 decisions. Round 71. Found 200 Galactic Republic grade infantry. Another Corp Tech is nice.
Copy that.
There's none there.
Roger that.
Yep. What's the Corp Tech?
Roger that.
They gave us gas-powered small arms. Definitely did not care about that at all. Okay, so the Corp Techs will be giving us all the things I haven't been researching. That's fair. Okay, so we're now getting 300 colonists a turn.
Order received.
And we have a worker shortage. So this is due to not being able to recruit fast enough. And the new construction project taking a decent number of workers. Okay, that'll resolve itself reasonably quickly. Oh, we got nomads next to the slavers. Similar sort of problems that the slavers do, although the nomads, instead of selling you people, sell you ammo. So if we get lucky, they'll start selling us ammo. If we get unlucky, they're just gonna start violating our border security.
Roger that.
What's the mining state? Any empty mines? Not yet. We're getting closer with one of the oils. I think you've got 2 turns left before you're going to run the oil well dry. Then we'll have to hit the oil well again with the prospecting, peripheral mining, but we've got the peripheral mining for that, so it's not going to be a problem. Let's play the mission impossible. We're hopefully going to fail. And we did. No. Probably going to fail and or critical fail. Critical fail means you just don't get into points. It's an expensive card to play for nothing. Okay, let's cycle that turn. And to be fair, while we're going through a lot of metal right now, we're not actually as the government, we're not mining any metal. We're just relying on the private economy to do the mining for us. Suffer no losses nor made kills. We have 3 decisions. During that end turn, I think I saw something that was very interesting. That is, we can see one of the major regimes. So we know what they have. They have people. In fact, they're actually number 2. So they'd actually be a reasonable person to target for war because we know they have people somewhere. Maybe not worth declaring war on them until we know where those people are, but we may want to go after that people.
We're under fire.
Yep, we found the local life. And there's 20,000 of them there. Oh dear. Yeah, I can see why our guys did not have a great day. Chameleon 4 makes them really hard to spot. And okay, yeah, our guys mono to mono are better. There's just 20,000 of them. Yep, that's a lot. Okay, the mine was a little bit delayed, but otherwise it's not too much outside of left field for what we would have reasonably expected. There's obviously an animal out here somewhere. No new orders. We probably want to discover artillery sometime soon.
Affirmative.
Monsters in Bunterra Pond. Warn people not to go there, or send a hunting party to kill that bloody monster. We'll just warn people not to go there.
Order received.
We'll revise some IP.
Roger that.
Another 320 will pop up next turn. We can spend a little bit building some roads. So probably want to go here to go closer to the mine.
We're under fire. Requesting backup.
Found some more of the local wildlife. Also, with that extension, we should probably just build right straight up the mine like so. Some more colonists there.
Order received.
Okay, we can attempt to embed some spies with them.
Roger that.
That's probably enough for us to get diplomatic contact with them. Not 100% sure that we're going to want to declare war. We'll see what type of culture they are before we do anything with them. And what reconnaissance we actually get off of them, I suppose. We're up in second. We don't have the most land. We're coming up... Actually, third in land. We just have the most people. Because apparently I'm not sending all my people off to die. Which is something the AI is a little bit prone to do. Okay, let's cycle the turn. Okay, we're holding there. Kill 200 infantry on the end turn. We have 2 decisions on round 73. Some more private investment, which is good. I think it's there. Something like that. No, it's there. Different pile in and get rid of that guy.
See you on the other side.
All clear, sir.
Start vaguely spreading out as a picket. Pull motor vehicles off to deal with this.
We're under fire. Requesting backup.
Okay, there's something there. That probably needs a real unit to come over and deal with it.
Order received.
Okay, decision-wise, militia can murder the plaque. Yeah, sure. Get some morale militia units.
Roger that.
That's fine. We got more industry, which is good to see.
Roger that.
Private investment. Have some war games. What sort of nation are you? Theocratics. You're the ones that are probably the least likely to want to make peace. That is their capital. With a city size, well, less than ours, because we're the biggest nation. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a dash. But that's giving us a rough idea of what their shape is. And they're probably filling more troops than me, honestly. Yeah, that wouldn't be the worst of things to start moving towards them. On the other hand, we can do some of this thing called that I refer to as diplomacy. Opening up with the open contact.
Roger that.
And then strat cars wise, I can do some civil delegations.
Copy that.
Make them dislike it a little bit less. Grab 2 independent light tank units. To help deal with stuff going down south. Because for the moment, there is an argument that we want to try to... We know where these guys are, so we want to try to contest the border with them. So we want to be moving down in that direction quicker. And bringing some armor to deal with the local wildlife is probably a good idea. Or the stack over here, one of the two. Okay, everything. Food's looking fine. Metal's looking pretty bad, which isn't necessarily all that surprising. What's the state for buying metal? Buy 130 for quite a bit, but we got the money, so we'll do that.
Roger that.
I probably don't have the metal on hand to finish the industry here. Probably spent a little bit too much on the tanks, but we'll be fine. It's just a setback. Move over the timeline for something to delay the timeline for something else, sort of thing. The wildlife have escaped the encircle and some of them in. Suffer no losses nor made kills. We have 4 decisions. Industry was not delayed. I had just enough industry on hand to not delay it. Okay. promptly run headlong to it, yeah. Yep, we're gonna give you a subsidy. That balance
Copy
looks
that.
fine. That balance looks
Roger that.
fine.
Roger that.
We're still waiting to discover things mostly. Would like gospel arms. If we got gospel arms, we'd probably be a little more aggressive with research on the military tech. Ecotech are working on housing. And we only have one other thing discovered with the oil soil recomposition, which we're eventually probably going to want because we're going to need it to power or to fuel the farms and stuff. But
Roger that.
RIP, that's good. So the cabinet retreat makes all the cabinet owners a little bit happier. As well as getting them some XP. So we're sitting in second. We're coming up probably where I should go ahead and end the stream. I think we started the stream in 5th, so we've definitely made progress. We haven't necessarily grown in population very much. If anything, it's actually been everyone else declining. The AI is very prone to recruiting itself out of holes for military purposes, but that tends to suppress their population. And at this point, I think all the population is accounted for. Right, so there's 6 nations in this game. We hold 1/5 of the population. So everyone else is, by default, has less than 1/5 of the population, if you divide evenly across them. One of the other people has more land than us, but they still have less than 7% of the planet. The big thing that is sort of uncontested on this planet, because there's so few people, there's literally, I think, 6... Well, I made a town, so there's now 7 towns on the entire planet. Most of the planet's empty, is a good way of thinking about it, right? Most of the planet is empty land. One way to... Probably the most reliable way to actually become permanently in the lead would be to literally take a city off of someone, because we'd be taking up almost 15% of the population, regardless of which city it is. And that's what's making it so tempting to maybe try to take a war with this guy. On the other hand, that is a long way. I'm surprised they're able to have logistics going up that far. The AI, how would I say? The AI gets logistics. Reptiloids, okay. From their cities. I don't think they technically get infinite action points off the cities. So the city's providing them some base logistics points, and they do have a truck hub, presumably. Not that our spies are telling us that they have a truck hub. Maybe they only have the city one, or maybe they haven't privatized the publicized the private one. But yeah, so that's probably most of their population. I wouldn't. Oh, we can actually see. Okay, so they have at least 2 cities. They've made a colony. There's probably got another colony up here somewhere they're using for supply purposes. So yeah, might be worth doing some more spying on them. But yeah, most of the population is presumably located in that city. Other than the fact that it's just a really long dash down there, which is one reason I'm hesitating to declare war on them right now. Well, that and the fact that we're having enough of a struggle with the local wildlife. That we can get the local wildlife under control. Maybe we shouldn't be dashing off to the far reaches of the world. But yeah, we've moved up from 5 to 2nd on the podium. Although we moved from 5 to 2nd and then back down to 3, and then we're back up to 2nd. We can see if we can hold up there. Really, the big thing here is a rush for the planet. Can we be faster to get the planet? Although taking any of the competition out is gonna be very rewarding. Managed to sustain the word score. For a planet with low, I think I put on low resources. So the accessibility is just terrible for most of the resources. How that's basically playing out. Not necessarily that there isn't the variety. In fact, actually, I've been very happy with the variety. We've had access to everything we need. So the mad dash requirements to get into like advanced chemistry or machinery is less of an issue here. So it's making slow a little bit more okay. And because we've had access to these mines, we've been able to sort of foist off all the mining onto the private sector. So all the metal mining's been done privately, all the oil's been done privately. The only thing we're mining personally is some water, and we do have a scavenger's place we set up. Everything else is being done privately, which is pretty nice. Though I have to remember, like the situation we've got right now, that I do need to do the peripheral mining a little bit more proactively.
Roger that.
So I'll get a pop-up next turn reminding me that we've got a oil well that we need to extend. This is roughly where I'm going to go ahead and end this part. I don't think there's any more cards I want to do, so we're basically done for the part here. If you're watching on YouTube, there probably will be a part up tomorrow, assuming everything goes according to plan. I believe if everything has gone according to plan, I am recording this stream the night before the first part goes live on YouTube. So at this point, there should be 6 parts recorded for you. So if 6 parts recorded for you. If you're watching on Twitch, obviously this is the end of the 6th part. The first 2 parts should still be up on Twitch. I say 2 parts. On Twitch, it's 1 part. Whereas the first part should come live tomorrow on YouTube. YouTube should be getting it in 1080p at 30 frames per second. Whereas Twitch, the reality is that Twitch means you get whatever I can be pushing live to the internet. I do have it set up to throttle the pixels instead of the frames, so it should be throttling the pixels. As I'm being indicated right now, taking a glance at the OBS, that's what it's actively doing. So you're probably going to get a slightly higher video quality pixel-wise on YouTube, at least consistently, because it'll be consistently 1080p, because I'm recording it locally. Although I do, to save on upload time, I do crank it down to 30 frames per second. Depends upon how I'm doing the editing. On this one, because I do start and stop in OBS, I think I'm going to put it through a compressor, so it'll be done to 30 frames per second. I think the Field of Glory Empire's stream, because I actually do a shortcut to break up the stream, that one I think actually gets uploaded in 60 frames per second, but it'll be 1080p either way, and probably either 30 or 60 frames per second, depending upon what editing I do to it. So if you're watching on Twitch and you want to see any of the reports or screens here, this is probably a good time to put a comment in regards to that. If you're watching on YouTube and you have any comments, feel free to always leave them. I don't have a problem responding to them and or making short videos if I need to go look at the menus or stuff for you in the future. And thanks Twitch chat for saying thanks for the stream. Let me quickly alt-tab out so I can bring up what the upcoming schedule should be. Or, I'm remembering that I haven't actually updated the channel schedule, but I should be able to check from the previous ones what I'm thinking is going to be the case. I think tomorrow, someone asked if I could do Humankind, so we'll be playing Humankind tomorrow. Because the last stream 3 days ago for XCOM was a 3-parter, I think the Humankind stream will actually be a 5-parter to make up for it. So Monday is probably going to be Humankind, it's probably going to be a 5-parter. I'll probably try to run that as 30-40 minute parts instead of an hour apart, like I do for Shadow Empire. So that's tomorrow's stream. Tuesday's stream is probably Field of Glory Empires, continuing the Persia run. I think we're off to a pretty good start. Although, if you've been watching, you'll understand the struggles we're having in that. A lot of them are struggles of our own creation, to be fair. Wednesday is going to be continuation of Terra Invicta. In that one, I think we've got the techs we need. It's really just getting the resources to build things. If we can do that, I think we can get in a working defense of the orbits, and then we'll start to take off there. So that's going to be on Wednesday. And then the next stream of Shadow Empire will be next Thursday, where we'll probably do another 4-part, almost 4-hour stream. Well, 4 hours of content stream. It was much like this stream. It's going to be longer than that. We're coming up on 4 hours and 40 minutes. I can imagine that, yeah, depending on how you're compressing it. Saving at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second might only save like 10% of the size. Passing it through the compressor is saving like 50% of the size. So, after compressing it, or after encoding it on OBS, because OBS is trying to handle that while streaming and stuff like that, right? So, compressing it is definitely doing a pretty good savings. 30 versus 60. If the compressor didn't default to 30, I'd probably overwrite it and go to 60. And I might do that later tonight. We'll see. Maybe I'll make this part up in 60%, in 60 frames per second. And yeah, it maybe depends on what we're doing for dinner tomorrow. Well, what I'm doing for dinner tomorrow, whether or not it'll be the same time tomorrow. Usually my goal is to do 8 to 12. I do live with family, and they sometimes dictate when I get to start. Basically, I start whenever I'm free for the night. But yeah, that's the upcoming schedule. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wish... Well, if you've got any comments on Twitch, feel free to keep bringing them up. I'm going to go ahead and do the outro for the YouTube video. So with that, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.